Good evening, Patriots. It's Scott here from Woke Societies. I am pumped up. I'm ready to start this journey with all of you on a full-time basis. Had a little bit of a crazy day today at work, but here we are. Here we all are. Let's see where you're all from. Let's see where those viewers are at. Let's hit that like button. Let's get this show started. Everyone seems to be a little bit down today, but I promise I'll cheer you up. The world is a dark place right now. All right, let's get the camera back on me here. How's everybody doing? Man, it's been a wild few days of my life. As you guys probably already know, I don't keep no secrets here. The chat is already blowing up as it usually is. We're going to be at 300 viewers already. Hit that like button. Tell your friends and family about Woke Societies. Again, this is Scott, the creator of the channel. Let them know we are the news now. We're growing day by day. Networking, growing this channel, growing other people's channels. We are taking the narrative back. So if this is your first time, and maybe your first time for a lot of the viewers here, you're going to be in for some chill vibes, chill news, and just an all-around great time to relax. It's 8 o'clock. Everyone's been working. Let me take the reins for an hour and just have a good time, all right? We got people from Oregon, Australia, South Florida. We got Canada in the house, Kentucky, New York. All right, we need more New Yorkers here, man, because California's kicking all of our asses, man. My listener base is all from California. Mostly California, but it's all right. We got Michigan, Virginia, some new viewers here. Yes, welcome. Welcome to the Woke family. You're all family here. We're all in this together. And I cannot wait to bring you what I have today. Lots of weird news. We're going to get into some weird shit tonight. Some alien stuff. We haven't talked some aliens in a while, but that's fine. I'm going to keep you guys updated on Chaz. Going to keep you guys updated on some other things here. The NYPD, the Shake story was so weird. The Shake story was really, really weird. So we're going to get into all this stuff. So let's bring the vibe back down here and let's get into the chill beats, and let's wait for just another couple of minutes here to let some people gather around. So as you guys all know, I'll tell my story a little bit after the intro. I was going to finish out this week at work, but didn't happen. Not going to get into the details of what happened, but I simply walked out today. It was just that time, the circumstances surrounding it. It was just not good. And I'm free. For the first time I can say in my life since I was 15 years old, I don't have a job. And I don't consider this my job, but this is what I'm going to be doing on a full-time basis, because this is, I keep saying it, this is the most important thing that I could be doing. And for everyone out there that does have a job and wants to contribute, a tweet, your social media accounts, your small accounts, you guys all count. It's not just the big accounts. So I'm here to encourage anybody. Here to encourage anybody to, you're part of this movement. We're all in this. We're trying to make this country better and wake the world the hell up. So let's get the shameless plugs out of the way. I'll get into a quick story and then we'll get the show started, shall we? So as you guys know, go to the Woke Society's YouTube page here. As you guys can see, we're at 53.4 subscribers already. We're growing at a tremendous rate. I want to be at 60,000 by the end of this month, and the goal is, ladies and gentlemen, to be at 100,000 by the end of the year. There's no reason why that can happen. We're going to have to play nice with YouTube, and that's what we will continue to do to make it, and we'll be all right. So check that out. Let them know. Like, share, comment right now. Like that episode. We got 420 people in here already. Hit that like button. Turn that thumb blue. If you guys want to increase your fandom, go to my Patreon. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be completely not revamped, but it's going to be with me having a full-time job. Me not having a full-time job, me doing the channel full-time, there's going to be a lot of extra things. I'm going to be doing live chats that are going to be private, just the Patreons, talking about things we can't talk on YouTube. There's a whole lot of things I'm going to be doing since I have the full-time basis, and I'll have a schedule out for everybody once I get that figured out. So check that out. Go to my BitChute here. My computer's a little bit slow right now. Check out the BitChute. This is my backup channel in case YouTube takes me down. And of course, you guys can always go to the wokesocieties.com webpage. It has all my podcasting links here for everybody and all that good stuff. And of course, when you guys click on this cool link here at the store, it'll bring you to my merch shop, which has all my merch and Q swag and of course, all the shirts that you guys can get there. And of course, my PayPal donations in the below. So how's everyone doing tonight? I'm feeling really good. Again, this morning was a really, really weird day. If you guys didn't catch me on Sunday, I was on with somebody called Red Pill 78 in Methods. Not a big deal or anything. That was a great time. That was on Sunday night. I was on for the full 2 hours. And again, I am just beyond blessed that I am even talking to these guys on a daily basis. And it's just great. I finally feel like I found my tribe, my friends, my home. And it's just great to be part of this movement and to be with some just genuinely caring people that we're on the same goal here for this country. And that's where we're at. So that's all that. So I want you guys to check this out. As you guys all know, I'd love to hear it in the chat here. Do you think this alien invasion is coming anytime soon? Because what I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing a bunch of articles here in the mainstream media talking about aliens, talking about a lot of stuff. So look at this. There are at least 36 intelligent alien civilizations in our galaxy. It says scientist. That's a lot, but there's probably more than that. It's the oldest and greatest cosmic question of all. Is there anybody out there? For years, all we've had is the Drake equation to help us understand the question, but no indication of an answer. Now a group of scientists at the University of Nottingham think they come up with a new cosmic evolution-based calculation, or rather, an estimation, that suggests that there are likely to be at least 36 ongoing intelligent civilizations in just our Milky Way galaxy. Just our galaxy, ladies and gentlemen. That's not that much. The Milky Way, home to our solar system, is estimated to have 100 billion to 400 billion stars and roughly 1 exoplanet per star in our galaxy. And published today in the Astrophysical Journal, the new paper examines the likely number of communicating extraterrestrial intelligent civilizations in the Milky Way. It assumes that intelligent life comes to occur on other planets, much as it's done on our own planet. So, everyone, I keep hearing Project Bluebeam, right? That's the big one that I keep hearing. What do you guys think? Do you think they can easily just replace COVID? Just replace alien invasion with COVID, and then we're back to lockdowns again? Can't leave our homes. All restaurants, businesses closed except for essential businesses. Are the grocery stores going to be operating while the alien invasion's going on? What do you guys think? Who knows what's going to happen, right? It doesn't surprise, nothing surprises me anymore. So, interesting topics there. We're getting into some of that more into the end of the show. Just want to bring it up. But where I want to begin here for my intro, I want you guys to watch this video here. This video that I have here is something that I kept bringing up with this whole Black Lives Matter thing. People keep talking about how police officers are killing black African Americans at an alarming rate. But my whole thing was, as far as just killing African Americans in general, has anyone looked at Planned Parenthood? Because the numbers that I found in the research that I'm looking at is that Planned Parenthood is the biggest killer of African Americans just in general. And you know what's weird? We know what Planned Parenthood's about. We know what kind of shady practices they're involved with and what they do with those babies that are aborted. Not going to go into some gory details in that tonight. That is a whole nother episode. But we know this stuff happens. Doctors have been arrested for it. There was that weird story. I don't know when it was. Maybe it was last year or early this year about that doctor that had all the baby bones buried in his backyard with, and it was like 20 to 30 something of these kids. It was something terrible like that. But the whole point is that Planned Parenthood is the #1 killer of African American babies. And my thing is, why is nobody protesting in front of those places? And not only that, these places were open during the entire COVID crisis. They were remained open. And to me, that is a huge red flag. But the crazy thing is here, what I want to show everybody is this video here. This is from Mal, at Mal is Bad on Twitter. And he writes, "And the blue pill goes silent. If someone knows the source of this video, please post it because I don't have it. Thanks." So I'm going to play this video. And after that, you're going to see the intro and we'll get the show started. Take a watch.
Children, enough to save them and fight for them. Black lives matter or just some black lives? The black lives killed by black men matter, right? Yes? The black babies killed in the abortions clinics matter, right? Thought so. The black officers killed by that bastard in Minnesota, that matters too, right? Okay. But the black babies that are killed in the abortion clinics don't matter, do they? Medical people. Do their lives matter? Does the future of our black babies matter? Huh? What's up? What's up? Awful quiet now, aren't they? Uh-huh. It's okay if we kill them in the womb, right? But you have a problem when you don't seem to really have a problem when we kill them on the streets. Yes, well, we know they're the same issue. If we don't respect the lives of our unborn children enough to save them and fight for them, our lives mean nothing once we're born.
That silence is deafening.
Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold, stay woke. Open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. Woke society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow.
Isn't that sick? Isn't that sick? You guys saw that video. You just saw that video, right? There was already a woman, one of those doctors, already willing to kneel on the ground in front of that man before she even heard what he had to say. And then when the truth hit her in the face, she stood right up and walked away. And you saw all those doctors. Some of them couldn't even look the man in the face. They couldn't even look the man in the face. And the whole entire point of me showing this video is the reason why I titled tonight's live stream, The Silent Majority No Longer. Because if you weren't woke or awake, whatever you want to call it, red-pilled, truthified, whatever the hell you want to call it, you would think, watching the news, that we are the silent minority. That all African Americans are behind these protests and these riots, and it's just not the case. And this is why I was tweeting earlier today after work, unfortunately, that we are the silent majority. And the biggest red pill for this country is going to come when Trump gets reelected again in November 3rd. And it's going to be an eye-opener for a lot, because a lot of people aren't even going to know how this was possible. Because if you even believe the polls, look at the polls that are being posted, you would think Joe Biden has a 14-point lead, or whatever the hell it is. Something absolutely ridiculous. But it's just not the case. So looking at all this is just, it makes you think and it makes you wonder. But this is why, again, a big reason why I decided to leave the job and take this seriously and take this on full time, because we need to free as many minds as possible until then, because when it happens, we're pretty sure Trump's going to win this election regardless. But when it happens, there are going to be a lot of people, and it's already happening. I'm seeing it with friends and family, my wife's friends, people that never even listen to Trump or even on the side of the Democrats. They are figuring it out. This whole COVID crisis, everything happening with that, these riots, there is just something wrong. Something's off with everything. Trump wasn't as big of a liar as we all thought. And these are the conversations that I'm seeing more and more and more of, and seeing it on Twitter. More and more people are coming around to the idea that they are being duped and they're lied to. So this video right here is just another great example of this. And these are two African American women speaking straight truth. And I love seeing this because it is they are in complete defiance to the narrative that is trying to be pushed here. And there is nothing better than when you can have the people that are the people that were piggybacked, the people that were upset, that should have been upset, the people that should have been peacefully protesting. Their protest got hijacked, and seeing these people speak truth about it. And it's funny because most of these people she's talking to are white, which you're going to see here. She doesn't even know what to say. So I'm going to play most of this. This is right out of Seattle's Chaz Autonomous Zone. Let's take a watch of this video and watch this lady spit fire and speak straight truth. It's fantastic.
I would be in the same position you're in, so I'm not even mad at you, baby. For feeling like fake news. This is the thing. I know people don't like Trump. I understand that. But let me tell you something. If I had to pick between him and Joe Biden, I'm not voting in Joe Biden. want to see a bunch of black people go to jail by the next 4 years? Put Joe Biden in it. Watch what happens. You want to see black men get killed substantially? Like you've never seen before? Put Joe Biden in and watch what happens. These Democrats, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not trying to be racist, but they hate black people. These are the same people who fought to keep slavery in. These are the same people who built the KKK. These are the same people who hated us from the beginning. The Republican Party is the party of the blacks. Blacks free, the Republican Party is the only party that the black people actually assisted in finding. But all of that history has been torn away. People say, oh, there was this big switch. There was never a big switch. The Union won because we had grown in the industrial era. So we were able to get trains and get supplies back to our soldiers while the Confederate was still riding horses. They were not able to get supplies back fast enough, right? So what happened was once slavery was abolished in the South, the people in the South could no longer make their money from slaves. They had to move to the North to work in the industry to produce. And so the people in the North that already had established themselves in the industry moved to the South. And so that's where it was a transfer of people coming from the South to the North and people coming from the North to the South. There was never a big switch. So the same Democrats who hated black people from the beginning are the same ones who hate us now. And they use our cause. How did Black Lives Matter turn into something about LGBTQ? When blacks really don't support that. We're conservative. We're really not about that. Not only that, we don't support abortion. We're about workers. This is the black culture. We ain't ever been about that. Not only
This is the black culture. We have never been about that. And she said a whole lot of stuff there. She said a whole lot. And seeing this video just gives me hope that not everyone's brainwashed, and seeing African Americans stick up for themselves. And this is something we're going to get into this show in the future, as far as the proper history, the history that's not being taught in our schools. Not even to myself. I am relearning history as I speak now. And there is somebody that I have in mind that I'm going to eventually get on this show that knows her stuff and is actually right now has online classes for anybody, but in particularly the African American community, to truly learn their rich history in this country. Because if we were just to believe what was taught to us in school, it was constant oppression, nothing but slavery, and black people being victims. And that's not taking away that some of those things were true and actually happened. Obviously, slavery happened in this country. There were terrible things that happened to these people. And I'm not taking that away from them at all. But what I'm saying is, there is a whole entire part of history for African Americans that just has not been taught to them, and it's not in our schools for a reason. This, whatever you want to call it, this deep state, they always want to keep us divided, and this has been indoctrinated into our country for decades, and it starts at the school level. So as the months progress, I'm going to be learning as well, so I can gain that knowledge that she has, that she just dropped in these people. Because you're looking at these people, they don't even know what to say. They're just nodding their heads. And it was just great because she didn't get nasty. She spoke her truth, and it was eye-catching. You couldn't stop listening to her. And for me, when I see stuff like this, and this is in Seattle, by the way, and we all know what's going out in Seattle, it was just really good to see that. And people knowing their true history gives you so much more confidence in when you're speaking your truth. And I just love to see that. So there's almost 931 people here already, which is fantastic. Hit that like button for me, guys. I see the chat is doing wonderful. And I think I see Tanya in there. She's always there. Hey, Tanya. Love you for always being here and supporting the show. So let's continue here. So speaking of Seattle, and we're seeing this commonality here with police, even here in New York, it's almost a joke at this point that we're seeing what's going on with policing and the mayors and the Democratic governors of these states that are pretty much just allowing people like the Antifa groups and just people in general, the rioters, the looters, all these people, they're just letting them run rampant in their cities. And seeing this is just absolutely disgusting because I'll just read it. This is from Breaking 911. This was yesterday. Seattle bans police use of crowd control devices like tear gas and pepper spray. And when I see posts like this, usually these other Democratic states, they usually follow suit with the stupid rules and regulations they put on. But how are you supposed to police? Because if they're going to take this away, we already know how the Dems feel about defunding the police. When are they going to start calling for these police officers to get rid of their guns? And the next thing we know, we're the UK, where you can literally watch videos online of police officers in the UK that walk around with tasers and mace. I don't even know if they have that, But these cops are getting the absolute crap beat out of them, and they're getting jumped because there's literally nothing. They literally don't have that power. They don't have that gun. They don't have that life-altering weapon behind them to even put some fear into somebody, and they're absolutely getting taken advantage of. And to me, seeing these posts like this from Breaking 911 and just knowing the situation out in Seattle, it's just telling me that it's not going to get better anytime soon, and to buckle down because it's probably going to get worse. And we're seeing police officers getting more and more neutered in these Democratic strongholds, and we're starting to see it here in New York as well. And I know damn well out here in New York, the police officers, the chiefs, their leadership is completely shot, and the morale for a lot of these officers are completely shot. And if there are any here in this chat, that would be great if you could just throw in your 2 cents. If you are at even any police department, I would love for you to throw in your 2 cents as to what is going on in your department, and just to say thank you for anyone in the uniform, military, first responders. It is a tough time to be doing your job right now, and I commend anybody out there because you all aren't bad. There's bad apples in every department, but for the majority, most of you are good people, and the people that you are protecting, they're spitting in your face. And it's not everybody, but it's a lot. And to me, I couldn't handle a job like that. So hats off to you guys if you're in the chat, but things aren't getting any better for Chaz. Now, this is from the Gateway Pundit. Warlord Raz from Chaz caught on video handing out AR-15s to random young activists. Now, I was going to do a story on this Raz. He is a rapper, I believe. He's pretty popular on Instagram. He's a social influencer, and supposedly he's the boss or one of the top head honchos out in Chaz there. And it's just funny. I'm reading up this article because if you were to watch the mainstream media and their narrative pushes right now, all you would see is that it's almost like they're trying to push this hippie vibe, this peace and love going on out in Antifa land, out in Somalia. They want you to think that it's all just, peaches and cream, everything's good. They got their farms going with the cardboard, with that shitty dirt they poured on top of the grass to start farming. And then you got homeless guys dancing on top of it and people screaming that their cars got broken into and no one's protecting them. We're seeing them implode, but if it was up to the mainstream media and also the mayor, because I think it was the mayor who said this could be a summer of peace and love. They're all trying to throw this narrative out there while their cities are literally getting taken over and eaten from the inside out. But you have the leader here, this guy Raz from Chaz, handing out AR-15s to random young activists. And as you look here, it says Oliver Darcy, whose primary purpose at the network is to silence conservative voices, published a hit piece on the Gateway Pundit, Bryper, and others. Darcy insisted there were no armed Antifa members in Chaz, and that's also another narrative push. There's no one guarding these perimeters with weapons, and yet here they are, the Antifa Autonomous Zone in Seattle. And as you scroll down here, it says, in his report, Darcy says the local officials said there was no interaction with armed individuals at the Chaz encampment. TGP reporter Cassandra Fairbanks immediately responded to Darcy's hit piece with video of armed Antifa anarchists terrorists in the Capitol Hill Free Zone. There's one of them here, and I believe I'm going to try to find the video of the guy actually handing out the AR-15s. Computer is super slow right now. Don't know why, but let me see if I can just play this video. Hold on. I'll bring it up and see what we got here.
Anyway, we still got a pretty full crowd out here. I'd say there's a good 400 people or so. They have completely taken over this precinct. I want to give you guys a little perimeter view here. So this is the East Precinct on 12th and Pine, Seattle.
Folks.
It's Capitol Hill.
Okay, we have a message coming through from the John Brown Gun Club, who is helping us with security. There are some things they want you to know. The John Brown Gun Club is armed for your safety. They are on our side.
The John Brown Gun Club, they are armed for your safety. Right there. And we don't have to, that was a video I wasn't even playing. I'm playing in here. But you see what's happening, the complete lies to the narrative. They literally just announced there are armed guards called the John Brown, whatever they call the John Brown Gun Club is armed for your safety. They are on your side. So what does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? There are at least armed guards, armed Antifa around the perimeter watching who's coming in and out. And what do they stand for? This is Antifa. Remember, the people that don't believe in boundaries, they don't believe in borders, they want open state and just free reign, no police state, no law enforcement, nothing. but yet we have borders, check-ins, and even somebody that I saw a video the other day, I believe they said he was a Christian of some religion, and they found out, and you see Antifa literally choking the man out in the middle of the sidewalk just for saying that he was part of one of these religions. Sounds really inclusive, and according to their little guidebook that they have, is not going along with anything that they stand for, which is so shocking. It's unreal. So it's just great. But and with all this, though, we're all wondering what's going on with Trump, right? And he's responded to some of this before. We're waiting to see what he does. I would love to know what you guys think, because I would love to know when the hammer is going to drop in this place. Or is this one of those things that Q talks about? Is this all for optics? Does it have to get completely out of hand for people to really realize how dangerous these people are? We're still waiting and seeing, but today he had a response to it again. And here it is from Breaking 911. President Trump on Seattle's autonomous zone. You have a governor that doesn't do a damn thing about it. And you have a mayor that doesn't know she's alive. Now, if they don't do the job, I'll do the job. So let's play this because it's Trump and he's awesome.
Mr. President, on Seattle, you said last week on Seattle that if the mayor of Seattle, the governor of Washington, didn't take steps to end the occupation of the Capitol Hill neighborhood, you would step in and you would do something. 100%. That they still haven't ended it. They're negotiating. Are you considering taking action?
You know, they're negotiating garbage removal. These people have taken over a vast part, a major part, a very good part of a place called Seattle. Seattle's big stuff. That's a major city. And we have a governor who's a stiff, and we have a mayor who said, oh, this is going to be a love fest. And by the way, these are violent people that took it over. These are not people that are nice people. I saw on your network today, John. I saw what went on with the hitting and the punching and the beating and all the other things going on in Seattle. And you have a governor that doesn't do a damn thing about it. And you have a mayor that doesn't know she's alive. She's talking about it's going to be a love fest this summer. Now, if they don't do the job, I'll do the job. And I've already spoken to the Attorney General about it. But if they don't do the job, we will do the job.
What can you do?
About 10 different things.
About 10 different things. Now, that's what I would love to know in the chat, guys. What do you think? How would you get these guys out? Because if it was me, the Dems and the media want nothing more than dead bodies on the streets. They want war on American streets because what they're going to do, we already know they're going to do. Anything that happens going forward anyways, they're going to blame on Trump. This is their game. This is what they do. This is not surprising. But what would you do? Because going in with guns blazing, we know what these people look like. They're skinny young college kids, mostly white, and they have blue hair and mohawks, and they eat nothing but soy and tofu, right? This, obviously tongue in cheek here, but we know these people, if they were to go up against military, they wouldn't even stand a chance. Wouldn't stand a chance. So for me, it wouldn't be going in guns blazing because that's exactly what the Dems want. It gives a really bad image on Trump. So for me, if I was to do this, I'd probably starve them out, surround them, starve them out until they run out of supplies, and then watch them implode and crumble. It's already happening. We've seen videos of it already happening. So that's what I would do. But he is watching the situation. And my thing is, we saw, it wasn't just in Seattle. We saw another group out in Portland, Antifa as usual, trying to start these autonomous zones. And they shut it down really quick and all that good stuff. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. What would you do to stop these guys? And let's continue. We're seeing the weird attacks on police officers. And like I said, this is why I brought it up, man. It's a hard time being a police officer right now, anywhere in the country. But the attacks are getting weirder and weirder. And this story, guys, was just on the top of that list. I'm sure you heard it. These bleached milkshakes from Shake Shack. Now, this is from Carly Q. And this is from an interview talking about it. She says, holy shit, 3 cops drank bleached milkshakes from Shake Shack in New York City. What the hell is wrong with these people? The more you know. Let's just take a listen and see what she has to say.
Next hour, we are learning of 3 officers being, what we're hearing is the word poison at this point. They were at a Shake Shack. This is at 200 Broadway, so just south of where we are. And we're learning that these officers had milkshakes. They drank them, and, halfway through, they found some kind of toxic substance, which is believed to be bleach in them. A lot of statements coming out. We haven't heard back from NYPD just just yet, but some of the unions representing them saying that this is a blatant attack on police. Again, something that we're learning just within the last 30 minutes. So here's a little bit of what we did hear from the PBA, saying that we cannot even afford to let our guard down for even a moment. Always look out for each other and remember your primary mission, that everyone gets home. So again, right now we're learning that 3 different officers were at this Shake Shack just within about an hour. We are told that they are expected to be all right. That's the biggest thing tonight, just making.
They are expected to be all right. But either way, I saw a lot of things about this. A lot of people that work in fast food on Twitter were talking about this, how the machines are cleaned with bleach, but because the bleach that's used, it's mixed with water, it's diluted. It could possibly happen. But my other thing was these cops got poisoned by this stuff. I didn't see any other reports of anyone else being poisoned or any other customers being poisoned, which would make me believe that this was a targeted attack. And it just shows you how shady and snaky these attacks are getting. These police officers have already gone through hell dealing with the rioters and the looters. The city's destroyed. I saw part of it. I know for a fact the city's destroyed. They're still boarded up. It still looks like a war zone down there. It's going to take months for that shit to get repaired. These people have been through hell. Most of them had none of them had anything to do with George Floyd. And yet all these cities had to deal with the fallout of this. And now they can't even go to a restaurant or this Shake Shack. I'm more of a Five Guys guy. I'm going to say that and watch the chat blow up now because I know a lot of people from California are about that Shake Shack. But out here in New York, guys, we got Five Guys. But anyways, these cops are just trying to get a milkshake and they get poisoned. It's just, this has to be a morale killer. Think about being a police officer in the city and now you have to worry about your food. It's insane. And it's just, it just gets crazier. Zero Hedge had an article on this, and it says NYPD chief detective says no criminality after officers sickened at Shake Shack. So according to NYPD chief detective Rodney Harrison, there was no criminality by Shake Shack's employees without elaborating, which raises at least one big question: were any other customers affected? And as we see here, there's just some questions being asked. Did the recovered cups contents presents bleach-like contaminants? The officers actually ingest chemicals and dye, or whatever that is. Did a foie gras shake merely repeat on them? Did they make it all up? Are the drama queens back on duty? There's all these terrible questions. And it's just really weird. It says Shake Shack has responded to the incident, tweeting earlier this morning, "We are horrified by the reports of police officers injured at our 200 Broadway Shack in Manhattan. We are working with the police in their investigation right now." And that's where it was all left. But as far as we know, there's going to be no charges. No criminality, but yet officers were poisoned. Really bad stuff, guys. Really bad stuff. So if you know an officer, a police officer, maybe just give them a hug. Maybe they need it. Let them know they are appreciated because they need it right now more than anybody. And right now it's a very, very down time. A lot of negative news in the going around, and we need to show them some love for sure. So let's continue, shall we? Now this infuriated me as well. Lots of anger today. We're getting it all out together. We're working through it together. This is from Jordan Sather. Just a couple of weeks ago, this is his tweet. The mainstream media said this Minnesota Freedom Fund raised $20 million to bail out protesters. Now they're claiming they've only paid $200,000. Oh, and this fund uses Act Blue for their donations. Big surprise. So which Democrat politician got all the money? And if you guys know, I think it was in a Q drop as well. This Act Blue are the ones that take these donations, and they're also the same ones that were taking donations for Black Lives Matter. And the thing with them is, if these donations go unclaimed, do you know what Act Blue gets to do? They decide where that money goes to, and we saw all the expenditures and receipts. The top receiving Democratic candidate for this entire Act Blue thing was Bernie Sanders, and just below him was Joe Biden. Which we do know now. We can say without a shadow of a doubt, Black Lives Matter is a shell company for the Democratic Party. There it is. And that's the truth, guys. That's a red pill in itself. And this is why Sather right here is saying, so which Democratic politician got all that money? And it's funny because what we were doing, we were trashing Hollywood, right? Hollywood was putting up their tweets telling the world how they're going to help these people get out of jail. We're going to help them get out. We're going to donate all these thousands, all these millions of dollars to help these people, these protesters, these people, these patriots wanting equal rights. But where did that money really go? The money, most of it ended up with the Democratic Party. And we all saw the graphic from Q. When do we see the increase in Black Lives Matter searches on Google search alone? 2016 was a spike, got nothing all the way through 2020 this past summer. And what do we see? A gigantic spike. Black Lives Matter only matters when the vote matters. That's real talk. And now we're seeing it happen out in real time that Hollywood, they even lie about the people they're donating to. They're all snakes, guys. They're all snakes. And it doesn't surprise me one bit. But there is some hope here. There is some hope. President Trump talked about this today. They are delivering an executive order for police reform. So I'm going to play this video so you guys can hear from the man himself about what is to come for the future of this order.
And thank you all for being here as we take historic action to deliver a future of safety and security for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. We're joined today by law enforcement professionals and community leaders. Though we may all come from different places and different backgrounds, we're united by our desire to ensure peace and dignity and equality for all Americans. I've just concluded a meeting with incredible families, just incredible families that have been through so much. The families of Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Antoine Rose, Jamel Robertson, Adiana Jefferson, Michael Dean, Darius Tarver, Cameron Lamb, and Everett Palmer. These are incredible people, and it's so sad. Many of these families lost their loved ones in deadly interactions with police. To all of the hurting families, I want you to know that all Americans mourn by your side. Your loved ones will not have died in vain. We are one nation, we grieve together, and we heal together. I can never imagine your pain or the depth of your anguish, but I can promise to fight for justice for all of our people. And I gave a commitment to all of those families today with Senator Tim Scott and Attorney General Bill Barr.
And he goes on for a little bit more, but he is just letting everyone know. Now, that message that you guys just heard, that to me sounds like a message of unity, of peace, and to let those families know your family members that died did not die in vain. And he is clearly saying here, the things that happened to these people, to your family members, it was not just. It was not just, and we're going to have some reform. Now, I know I believe Trump signed the order today. I haven't delved into exactly what that order is yet, but it is coming out, and that's something I'm going to look into tomorrow, actually, to see exactly what the plans are for police reform. But you can't say the man's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. He is always speaking about unity and coming together. He said we grieve together and we heal together. It's always a message of unity, but you don't see this in the mainstream media. It's always about division, and we can clearly easily kill that narrative when we hear messages like this. And this was just 2 minutes from this press briefing. So you tell me, and the world gets crazier, guys. It's just getting crazier. And we're going to go back, unfortunately, into COVID here just for a minute, because I wanted to bring this up. The FDA is revoking emergency authorization of hydroxychloroquine for CCP virus. And this is from the Epoch Times. The FDA on June 15th ended the emergency use authorization for hydroxychloroquine and the closely related chloroquine for the CCP virus, commonly known as the novel coronavirus. The agency reversed its authorization after being asked to do so by Gary Disbrow, the acting director of the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority. I wonder if he has any relation to Dr. Fauci. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Based on recent trials, scientists at the FDA believe HCQ and chloroquine, also known as HCQ and CQ, are unlikely to produce an antiviral effect, which is completely ridiculous. It does. It's been proven in studies, and it's been a lifesaver. Earlier observations of decreased viral shedding with HCQ or CQ treatment have not been consistently replicated, and recent data from a randomized controlled trial assessing probability of negative conversion showed no difference between HCQ and standard of care alone. Denise Hinton, the FDA's chief scientist, wrote in a letter to Disbrow, "It is no longer reasonable to believe that hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine may be effective in treating COVID-19, Hinton said." And I'm just here to say one thing, guys. The FDA, the WHO, the UN, they're all full of shit. All of them. The FDA saying things that aren't cures and are cures and all this other stuff. My parents' business alone going through what they went through with the FDA, we know exactly what the FDA is all about. They are not the end all be all as much as they would love to. They like to think so. Because guess what? The president was taking it. He told us he was taking it. He turned out to be just fine. And as far as we know, there was no side effects. And even Democrats that got COVID were using it, and they had meetings with the president, also with other people, normal people like me and you, who also had HCQ save their lives. And now we're seeing this emergency, whatever this is called, the emergency use authorization for HCQ is being taken back now. And you want to know what they're replacing it with? It's not even what Dr. Fauci was with that, whatever that drug he wanted to push that was like $1,000 a pill. No, we get steroids. And if any of you out in the medical field taking HCQ over a steroid, I would do it in a heartbeat, because I know for a fact steroids, they're a lot worse for your immune system and a whole bunch of other stuff. But this is what came out in regards to this. A cheap and widely available drug can help save the lives of patients seriously ill with coronavirus. The low-dose steroid treatment, dexamethasone, is a major breakthrough in the fight against the deadly virus. The drug is part of the world's biggest trial testing existing treatments to see if they also work for coronavirus. To cut the risk of death by a third for patients on ventilators. For those on oxygen, it cuts death by a fifth. And I'm pretty sure from the research that we've done on this channel and the research and studies that were done on HCQ, it's super cheap and it already worked. It's been in circulation for years for malaria, for lupus and other things, and arthritis. Why are we still trying to find a cure for this? It's already been out. We've been talking about this for months. And they're still trying to come up with different ways. I don't know if this is probably filling someone's pockets at Big Pharma that are trying to get this money, and it's absolutely disgusting. I'm going to hop over the chat real quick. We're at 1,500 viewers, guys. That is a record for this channel. Thank you all for joining. We're at 755 likes. There's 1,500 of you in there. Hit that like button. Please hit it. Turn that thumb blue. It gets this episode noticed in the search algorithms, and more people will get their eyes on it. But this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a little bit more of an uptick of these COVID stories coming back into the conversation again, because the riots, they're starting to wane off a little bit, but we'll have to see what happens. But the grossest thing, the grossest thing I saw with COVID in the news today was this article. This is in New York City, and it makes me even more sick to be from New York, seeing this stuff. New York City COVID-19 contact tracers. We know what the contact tracers are. They are not asking about George Floyd protest participation despite fears of new virus wave. And yes, you heard that correctly. They are basically saying, if we're going to go door to door and ask people where they've been, who have they been around, asking them if they were part of the protest, quote unquote, protesting, that is not part of the question in regards to George Floyd. And what does that tell you? It tells you a whole lot. And of course, Mayor Bill de Blasio is at the heart of this. So as we read here, this is from the city.New York City. Over the last 2 weeks, Mayor de Blasio and others have voiced concerns that packed police brutality protests across the city could trigger a new wave of COVID-19 infections. Whether or not that's the case, however, remains unknown, and de Blasio's team won't be directly trying to find out. The hundreds of contact tracing workers hired by the city under de Blasio's new Test and Trace campaign have been instructed not to ask anyone who's tested positive for COVID-19 whether they recently attended a demonstration. City Hall confirmed to the city. No person will be asked proactively if they attended a protest, Avery Cohen, of a spokesperson for de Blasio, wrote in an emailed response question by the city. Instead, Test and trace workers as COVID positive individuals general questions to help them recall contacts and individuals they might have exposed, Cohen said. Among the initial questions, do you live with anyone in your home? Tracers then ask about close contacts, defined as being within 6 feet of another person for at least 10 minutes. And this is disgusting to me, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why is because Q said this. There is going to be a push for another second wave of COVID. We're seeing the numbers. We're seeing the word spike. The spike buzzword that we're seeing in cases in New York City and Florida. And they're blaming it on Memorial Day weekend and all this other stuff. But why wouldn't they ask? Why won't they ask people if they were part of the protest? And we all know the answer to this. It's because it does not fit the narrative. It does not fit the narrative whatsoever. And the fact that they're not even asking this tells me that they do not want to mix any negative press whatsoever, even at the cost of COVID-19 and the dangers of COVID. They will not be willing to mix those two together because it'll hurt the narrative that they built and that they're going to die on that hill regardless. And we saw this with Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo literally put out a tweet just yesterday saying, "Don't make me come down there." For people who were literally on the street, some had masks, no one was social distancing, literally said, don't make me come down there, for people just hanging out, having a good time on the sidewalks and the streets. But literally just days before, we have protesters and rioters looting your city, and him and de Blasio literally allowed it to happen. All these businesses that pay these outrageous taxes, all these people that pay outrageous prices just to live there, you allowed their stores, their businesses to get destroyed. And then you have the balls to say something like, don't make me come down there, because what the hell are you going to do? And now we're talking about, it came out in the local paper, I think just yesterday, that Cuomo is thinking about stopping phase 1 for New York City. While the rest of the state, for the most part, we're in phase 2. We're about to go in phase 3. Phase 3 is already happening for most of New York State. But he's threatening now that it could be delayed now. So is this part of that second wave that Q is talking about? I'm not sure. It very well could be, but we'll have to see. And something I just wanted to throw in here. You guys might have saw this from Zero Hedge. This is something to keep an eye on for sure. This is about South Korea, North Korea. They're technically still at war. We know Trump went over there to North Korea. He crossed the DMZ line with Kim. It was an historic moment, but something's still going on over there. Not sure if this is still deep state related or if this is just to get people's eyes diverted. I'm not sure. But the article here from Zero Hedge talks about when Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Jong-un, rumored to be even more brutal and ruthless a leader than her brother, started making threats against the South and the U.S. while declaring that President Trump would never again be allowed to use the country to score political points. We suspected something was afoot. And less than 2 weeks after abruptly cutting off all communication with the South, including an emergency cross-border hotline, North Korea has taken the extreme and unprecedented step of blowing up a liaison office set up along the heavily militarized border between the two countries, which are still technically at war. And according to the media reports and black and white surveillance footage shared by South Korea, a loud explosion was heard and smoke could be seen rising into the air as North Korea blew up the Inter-Korean liaison office in Kaesong, the de facto embassy between the two rest of neighbors, in a dramatic escalation of tensions with South Korea near the demilitarized zone. And apparently, North Korea was starting lashing out at its southern border a few weeks ago, demanding that the Blue House stop South Korean activists sending propaganda pamphlets over the border to try and encourage defectors. Really, guys, this is what this was about? Crazy. The office, described as a gleaming blue building amid a drab industrial backdrop, was recently renovated by the South. Officials became suspicious about an impending attack yesterday. Okay. So nothing really, really crazy or groundbreaking from that article, but it's something I want to keep an eye on because who knows what kind of distraction this could end up turning out to be. We know since Trump visited Kim, all those relations started to heal. Because when Obama was in office, all I know is that we were on the brink of war and everybody had their finger on the red button, ready to go to destroy each other's countries. That's what I remember before I came woke and all this other stuff. But I don't know if this is some rogue operations going on to muddy the waters. I'm not really sure. But again, it is just something to keep an eye on. And something I also want to throw out here from Defense News, because this reminded me of a Q drop. Feds say company provided subpar steel for U.S. Navy subs, and This is again out in Seattle. For decades, the Navy's leading supplier of high-strength steel for submarines, providing subpar metal because one of the company's longtime employees falsified lab results, putting sailors at greater risk in the event of a collision or other impacts from federal prosecutors. And the supplier, Kansas City-based Bracket Incorporated, paid $10.9 million as part of a deferred prosecution agreement. And Bracket in 2008 acquired a foundry in Tacoma that produced steel castings for the Navy. According to federal prosecutors, Bracket learned in 2017 that the foundry's director of metallurgy had been falsifying the results of strength tests, indicating that the steel was not enough to meet the Navy's requirements when in fact it was not. And the reason why I bring this up is because Lisa here, Lisa May 62 on Twitter, talking about a Q proof here, saying future proofs past. And I'll pull it up here. It says, this was 855. This is an old one. What if steel used for military grade projects was made inferior by our enemies as a method to weaken? What if Hussein knew and authorized? And there's another Q post here. 1069 says, you have more than you know. Steel Tech America for sale. Systematic weakening of the United States. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because with everything going on with China, with COVID, Trump has made it very apparent that he wants to literally bring back all the businesses that we have to the United States, bring them back here. And Q called this back. These drops are from 2018, guys. 2018. There was this is why Q always says this is one of their most important drops, infiltration instead of invasion. We were being gutted, completely gutted. Our military was being gutted. Our country was being gutted. Our principles, everything this country stands for was being completely gutted, and we didn't even know it. And even our own military industrial complex here, the submarines getting this downgraded steel, ended up finding out that it was complete garbage and does not meet the Navy standards. Just thought that was interesting, but also just another reason why we should not be reliant on China for almost anything. I don't know how global economies work. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but as far as I know, I think it's pretty much common sense at this point. Why do we need China why do we need them for anything? Why can't we make American-made products again and bring the jobs back here? And I believe that's what Trump is doing, and it's excellent. So speaking of Obama, I want to get this off my chest. So I wasn't going to bring this up for a while, but now I'm seeing the writing on the wall, and this is a perfect time for me to bring this up. This is Malik Obama. This is his Twitter account. And I want to bring this up because I had an experience with Malik Obama myself in a personal DM that I have not told anybody besides some of the mods here in these channels and some close friends. I asked Malik, because from what I saw for a while, he was all about this movement. He seemed to be on our side. He seemed to be red-pilled. He seemed to know what was going on. The fact that he was Obama's brother, I felt like he would be an excellent guest in this show. Well, I asked him to be a guest in the show, and his first response to me was that I needed to pay him $5,000 to his father's donation to speak with me, and he would only speak with me for 15 minutes. Didn't ask me about my channel, didn't say, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, where are you from? He went directly to the money and said I had to pay this man $5,000, and I was taken aback. I was completely taken aback. So I didn't respond the way I wanted to. I was very respectful. I said, well, I'm a small channel. I'm sure we could get you some donations gathered from me and my viewers. It's not going to be anywhere close to that. Would you still reconsider? And then he countered offered me and said, I'll do 10 minutes for $2,500. And at that point, I gave him kind of a snotty remark and I ended the talk. And I didn't say anything. And I wasn't going to start a beef on Twitter with the guy. Didn't want to go down that route. And I'm seeing all these big Twitter accounts retweeting his stuff, talking about how great he is. But me, I think he's a snake. And this verified it here for me just yesterday. Malik Obama tweeted a picture that said, what's this? And it's a picture of a certified copy of a birth certificate with his brother Barack Hussein. But if anybody ever sees a picture, this is a great lesson for all you all. If you need to question whether a picture is real, go to, I think it's not tinfoil hat, tineye.com. You can literally copy and paste an image of an image into the system, and it'll tell you where it came from, where it originated, if it's fake, it's real, it's been photoshopped. And what do you know? When you put this picture in that system, it comes back as a fake picture. Now, for me personally, I don't know if he's trying to muddy the waters, if he's trying to get people to slip up and retweet this false information. But right here and there, a lot of these people that I saw, these bigger accounts that have been retweeting him, saying he's part of Where We Go One, We Go All, the Cube movement, the Truth movement, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people started questioning him. So I want to bring this up for a lesson to all of you, because if you see stuff like this, don't just retweet it, please, for the love of God. Do your best to vet the information that's given to you and to vet it as much as possible, because this movement, and me, myself, this is advice for myself too. We need to be better than the fake news, because what happens is when you see stuff like this, you got Daily Beast, you got WAPO, you got guys like Mike Rothschild that love to troll this movement, and they pick up on this stuff and then they put it in articles and they trash our movement. They completely trash it. So I'm telling you right now, from my show, I'm telling you right now, Malik Obama, in my book, he's a snake. And the fact that he asked me literally for $5,000 to donate to his father's whatever it is, his father's donation, not cool with me at all, man. That completely turned me off. And then seeing this, guys, I just want you guys to stay clear. I'm here to protect all of you. I'm just letting you know I don't ever really call people out like this, but people like this movement means everything to me. And if guys like him are going to muddy the waters, stay away. Don't share his stuff. I don't think he's here for the right reasons. And that's just my spiel on it. So let me see what else we got here. What else did I want to cover? We got 4 minutes left. The last thing I wanted to cover here, and I'll go hang out with you guys in the chat. This PG&E, my buddy Sean, who is one of the mods in here, this was one of the stories that I did a video on a long time ago about the California wildfires. I covered PG&E relentlessly, went over the solar weapons that they have to cause fires, went into all that, the patents they have on Google, crazy stuff. But the reason I want to bring this up is because there is some redemption here. PG&E today pleads guilty to debts from the California wildfire. And right here, PG&E CEO Bill Johnson entered guilty pleas on behalf of the company for 84 felony counts of involuntary manslaughter stemming from the fire, which was blamed on the company's crumbling electrical grid. Our equipment started that fire, said Johnson, who apologized directly to the victims' families. Now, to me, guys, that's fine and dandy. But companies like this, these big companies, they don't normally just put in their guilty pleas and accept the consequences of what they did. And the whole entire story that their electrical grid caused these fires, I never bought it from the get-go. And actually watching, this is why I think I plugged the YouTuber Mike Morales. He does weather reports every single night, and he does them for like 2 or 3 hours. He's a fantastic follow on Twitter. He covers weather in ways I've never seen before, and this is why he has such a huge following. But he was the one that turned me on to these solar energy weapons out in California, and seeing them actually happen in real time with these explosions of where these fires supposedly started from bad electrical grids that killed all these people, and all the melting of the material in the cars, and how some trees weren't touched, and all this weird stuff with these wildfires going through. And the company is just taking the sword, falling on the sword, and just saying, yep, it was us, we're putting our guilty plea, and we'll accept the consequences. To me, they are falling on the sword for somebody else, and that's that. Something else is definitely going on there, but at least the victims of the people that were killed, at least they're getting something, and hopefully they get some kind of monetary reimbursement. So let's see here. What else do I got? What do I want to show you guys before we hop off here? Oh, yes. This video here, just to end it on a laugh. Always love to end on a good note. This is from Michael Moore on Twitter. The defining interview of Joe Biden's career. It's a must watch. Let me put this on. I'll hang out with you guys in the chat. Take a watch.
She said, I want someone who can bring some outside energy because I don't think an insider can beat Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, he's a brilliant guy. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew how to get it done. He's brilliant. And he inherited a god-awful circumstance. That's one of the reasons Barack Obama picked me as vice president. Oh, he came along and he always said, he said he's entitled to do this. He said, you're too old. I said, want to do a push-up contest?
And that leaves the debate stage for the next debate in the Democratic primary looking very white. All the people on the stage will be white candidates.
It's white supremacy.
And you talk a lot about what it means to be a Biden and the integrity that is imbued in that family name.
You guys keep saying that. What the hell are you talking about?
For Hunter Biden to be on that board, even if he did nothing wrong, the optics weren't good.
You know the truth. Everybody knows what this is about. Everybody knows the issue here is making sure that we, in fact, got rid of a prosecutor. And the fact of the matter is my son testified, and he was, in fact, lying. It's a fact. He lied. He's lying. You acknowledge what he said wasn't even true. None of the mainstream media believes any of that.
This is your third time running for president. Why do you want this so bad?
I'm doing this because we're going to get rid of those rapist Mexicans. It's about how dirty we'd be. We have a tradition in our family. Took out his cell phone and showed me a picture, and the caption said, Biden molests another child. These are the things that have been in my wheelhouse, what I've done my whole life. There's plenty of women. Come on, give me a break here. And look, I'm in a situation where every time I'd be on stage, they'd make fun of me. I may be wrong about a lot of things. Look, every morning I get up, I ask myself, answer the question.
It's not my job to answer.
I know it's not your job to answer.
Yes,
She said,
yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. We gotta laugh at Joe Biden because this is the man that's supposedly going to be heading up against Trump, and it's an absolute joke. So we got 1,736 viewers, guys. You broke our record tonight. You guys killed it. We're at 1,000 likes. Let's hit that like button. Let's get that up for even further. You guys are awesome. Awesome. So that's the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got. No Q drops tonight, which is fine. Don't need Q to do a show here. Don't need Q to do a show whatsoever. But when they drop, it's always good to have them talk about what they're talking about as well. They're all here for us, right? We're all in this together. So if you guys can, one more time, hit that like button. Tell your friends and family about woke societies. This channel is growing by the day. And this is it. This is all I got now. This is it. So I'm going full steam. I'm going to be working on a new schedule with the Patreon. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with the Patreon now that I'm going to have the time to do it. So we're going to be doing probably a couple live streams a week on Patreon and some other cool stuff. And I'm going to make it very affordable. I have to add some new tiers. Not going to obviously kill anybody on the price of that. I want everybody to be there. And for the hardcore fans, I want to really get the truth out on those other channels because it cannot afford YouTube to take us down. But that is exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, you guys need to go and subscribe on BitChute. Go to my website. My content is always there. And just get on those backup channels. We need to build those up now more than anything. YouTube's always going to be here. But we cannot rely on YouTube. We cannot be naive enough to think that YouTube is going to be able to keep us around for the long haul. So please, I am imploring everybody, go in the links in my description and go subscribe to the backup channels so you guys can always keep in touch with me in case, God forbid, something happens. All right. Yes, no sense of boundaries, great editing. It was a great edited video. Did you guys see the ramen guy? Let me see if I can bring that up here because I wanted to fit that in the show, but I just couldn't find the video. Ramen dude. Let me see if I can pick him up here. You know what? I'm going to play this video real quick because it's absolutely hilarious. Let me turn this down. You guys might have saw this already. I'm just going to play this because it was great. Hold on a second. Let's put it on screen here.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. And please.
There's the First Amendment. You just gotta look it up, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, Mr. Cuomo. It's just so great, guys. Seeing this, the whole entire thing about all this, the kid was eating dry ramen, and I never even knew that was a thing. I didn't know you could even eat ramen like that if it was even edible. The dude literally eating it like a cheeseburger right out of the package. And Carly Q was the one that she's the one that took this recording, and it was a TikTok video, and it went viral. It's got 6.4 million views just here on Twitter. And it was funny because this kid here, he went and tweeted out, he went to his Twitter account and he found that he had thousands and thousands and thousands of followers and had no idea what happened, had no idea his video went viral. And it was just a funny story. And trust me, this kid right here, he should get an endorsement for ramen. I would love if, I don't know if I could get this kid on the channel, but that would be interesting to ask him what implored you to do this video, because it was just so boss and just so funny. And his delivery with the ramen, the crunch, it doesn't get any better than that. So, all right, guys. So that's probably going to tie it up. Thank you all for joining, everybody out in podcast land. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We were at 1.2 thousand likes. We broke records tonight as usual, and you guys were amazing. So go check out my store. Check out the merch shop. Anytime you guys are buying anything from our stores, you are actually supporting 3 local businesses here in New York with American-made products, and they're all high quality, and you are supporting local businesses here in New York. And again, all American-made. Great stuff, great quality. Go check out the Patreon and all that good stuff. So that's going to wrap it up for me. You guys out there with the mods, you guys were great. Let me get my music up here. Won the show. So thank you all for joining Woke Society's live stream on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Always going to be here for all you guys, and it's going to be a great time. So expect more content from me in the coming week. I'm getting my shit together this week, and by next week, we'll be ready to go. Lots of stuff in the future happening behind the scenes that I cannot wait to tell you guys about. So again, go to the YouTube, go to the Patreon, go to the BitChute, go to the store, go check out all those cool places for my content. As I always like to say, stay safe, stay warm, and stay woke. Good night, everybody. Have a good night.